What's up, everybody? Greg Chapman with the Gentleman Gorilla podcast, and today we are here with Karl Stedman of Positive.
Yes, sir.
And he works on, correct me if I'm wrong, but changing the way you think about the experiences happening in your life to wire your brain towards positivity.
You more or less, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's a pretty simple premise. Um, we live in a day and age where there's a lot of sensationalism, a lot of negativity, death, destruction, war constantly in media, like all over the place. And the way the human brain works is as you have inputs come into you constantly on a daily basis, you start to aggregate
Okay.
certain neural connections, right? And they become more and more efficient as that sort of input prompts them. So every time, say, you're watching war, okay, your brain will start getting predisposed to looking towards those scenarios in everyday life because it becomes more and more efficient. Most people aren't aware this is happening. Okay, when I became aware, it's like, okay, well, how do I change that? You start being conscious of the inputs that you take in on a daily basis. So about a year and a half ago, my mom was sending me positive, uplifting quotes, and I was like, "Why isn't this an app?" So I taught myself how to code. I coded a beta app in about 2 months, and it just kind of started flowing, and things started coming together. Like, positive is not supposed to be a company, but it is. It just happened, and we decided to tackle that modality issue. So the premise is that we're building a network where there's positive bias content,
Okay.
and if you ingest it on a routine basis, you'll start counteracting that shift in modality towards negativity and sensationalism and actually having a more happy, positive based life because that's what your brain is literally rewiring itself to look for.
Okay. I get that. So basically, you're created a company that is basically the counterculture of media.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get, like, I think we get bombarded with, I think they say like 6,000 ads a day, something like that, the average person across, just scrolling through social media, driving around, like you don't even think about it, but you see the billboards, whether or not
Yeah.
you recognize it, like everything. So just trying to fight that battle.
Yeah.
Like, here's some positive just to add into the mix.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily like strictly traditional positive content. Like, I'm a very firm believer of talking about stories where there's trials, tribulations. My mentor was homeless. He was in a gang. Like, he ran the largest gang in Ventura at one point in his life.
Dang.
But then he got out and he's been a highly successful entrepreneur, multiple times best-selling author. Sold 5 or 6 companies, last one for over 700 million. Like, the guy
Wow.
turned his life around. And there's a handful of individuals like that in my own life. And I realized that when you start telling stories, if you focus solely on happy things, people just push it away because they don't
Hmm.
accept it.
It's
They
a
don't
fairy tale. It's not
exactly,
true.
exactly. But that's just the case of their brains being predisposed to not believe it because of everything else they see. So we go into stories, we talk about real life things, we talk about the crap of life and how you get through it and all that stuff. Now we're starting to add more and more shows. I think there's like 18 shows on the network right now, but we are getting ready to expand very quickly. Um, and it's going to be wide ranging. Like, it's just not going to be shitty news essentially about war and
Okay.
strife and death and destruction and all that stuff. So everything from do it yourself or self improvement to business practices to mental health to it's just a wide variety.
Yeah. So you're basically going to be taking like newsworthy stories,
Hmm.
but you're just focusing on the positive stories.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, there's enough negativity out there. If you want to find
yeah,
out what school shootings happening this week, you can go find it.
right.
It just it doesn't need to be on
It's
our app.
yeah, it's everywhere. I mean, it's crazy. We live in one of the times of the least violence on recorded human history,
Yes,
but
doesn't seem like that.
no, it doesn't because it's in our face.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because one of the big things with the human brain is out of sight, out of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like nobody thinks about the fact that Flint, Michigan still doesn't have drinking water.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
that's just a couple thousand miles from San Diego.
Yeah.
But like, that's in our country. That's not a third world, but it essentially is.
Yeah.
And we're just ignoring it.
Yeah.
Like we could have had it fixed a long time ago. The
Yeah.
country has the money, we have the system, but it's out of sight. We don't think about it because the media is not talking about it. And then on social media, it's getting shut down. I think Facebook and all them caught some flack for, like, they're actually shutting
Publicizing.
down a lot of this stuff that,
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the thing is we see so much of this negativity with the news because they show it to us because ratings.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's what people want anymore. Like, it's
No.
what sells to the
Mhm.
masses, but I don't think it's what people want.
I agree. And I look at it as a pendulum. Okay, in 1974, the New York Times started tracking the amount of bias or the type of bias in the content they produced. And literally since the mid 70s, it's been from starting at neutral to a positive biased viewpoint, it's been a straight downwards trajectory. Why? Because clickbait, it sells. People
Mhm.
want to see that stuff. But we're approaching the time where people are deliberately stop watching news because it's too much, too often, and it starts affecting them. So we're just fulfilling a small need, small niche, and allowing people to have slightly different perspective. Like, it's not sugarcoating anything by any means. We're just choosing what to focus on,
Mhm.
where we're still aware of other stuff, but we're going to focus on the good. And in my own personal journey, like, I used to be very angry because I've been through a lot. Like, I've broken my back, I've lost millions of dollars, I've done crazy things. Okay. But for a long period of time, I was like, why am I going through this? Why is this happening? All this other shit. And I'd dwell on it and dwell on it and dwell on it. And then that built resentment and then anger. And it got to the point where I was driving down the road and I'd just get pissed off at the stupidest little thing. I was like, why am I spending all this energy? It's so deliberately bad for your health. So I started analyzing my own thought process. And then I started realizing, okay, how do I start turning it around? Well, since that I had that realization, that being conscious of it, I started listing out literally 10 things I'm grateful for every single day. And what it's done is very profound. Like, I used to be stressed out all the time. But in the last 7, 8 months, I've still been going through crazy situations, but my stress level is virtually non-existent. Like, I've been around some people that know me really well, and they're like, "You're almost like Zen." I was like,
Wow.
"Yeah, I'm not letting the shit that typically happened and to influence me. It's just not. I don't care. Like, I'm going
Yeah,
forward."
because you're just spending that small part of every day focusing on
Good.
the good shit that's happening to
Yeah.
you.
Literally rewiring and being grateful, because at the end of the day, if you really think about it, we live in America. Okay, we could have been born into a country where there's genocide, where
Mhm.
starvation. I think what, like 40% of the world, 60% of the world lives on less than $2 a day.
Yeah.
Like, even our shitty moments are still relatively to rest of the world population pretty good. But yet we are so, I think we as an Americans are so complacent that we get these well, it's almost like we look to make our life more spicy, if that makes sense, like things to get pissed off about, all that stuff. Like, we don't really have to worry about being alive tomorrow.
No. No, we don't.
So yeah, it's just
I actually, Dominique, my business partner, we were having this discussion, a similar discussion last night about how, um, and I was mentioning something about how we don't have, it's so easy to be alive right now.
mhm,
Like, we find it hard, we find it difficult, but that's just because it's all we've ever known.
mhm,
But it wasn't very long ago that every single day you had to wake up and literally fight for your life
yes,
all day, every day.
yeah,
And then Dom made the point, and he's like, no, it's still the same. It's just different. It's shifted. It's like we're not physically fighting to stay alive anymore. We've mastered that, but now it's mental game
yes,
because it's social media, it's mass media, it's just being able to talk to so many people, the influence, the psychology behind marketing, and how,
mhm,
like, human beings, the brain is pretty simple, like, as far as how it operates, like, and it's really easy to hack, and it's
yes,
really easy to manipulate people. And it's like fighting that fight. It's like, all right, what's real? What's a manipulation? Like, that's our daily fight for survival.
yeah,
And and it's like, it's exactly what you're doing. It's keeping the positivity through all of the crazy darkness that just surrounds you mentally.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, it's exactly, so
I, I, I I equate that, and like you're absolutely right. I equate that to, again, a pendulum. Like we've gone for such a swing to sensationalism, we'll call it, that people are getting fed up, and now it's starting to swing the other direction. So, like Dominique's absolutely right. Like we're no longer, at least here in this country,
yeah.
worried about the day-to-day food, day-to-day. I'm like, I don't know, we're not going to get killed by a saber-toothed tiger. Um,
Yeah.
we're not going to die of
Even
a
a regular
toothache.
tiger.
Yeah, I know. We're not going to die of a toothache. But that mental side, I think that's why you see so much depression now. One, we're more aware, but two, I hesitate to say this, but we've evolved to the point where we don't have to worry about it. Like we don't have to worry
That's
about
exactly it.
like
It's like, um, so you can watch through, like they say, a lot of the little inventions through human history are really what changed everything for basically freeing up the brain. So it's like mastering fire allowed us to cook our food, which meant that it took less calories to digest our food, which gave us more energy stores. Starting to wear shoes started to protect our feet from small rocks and stones, even though they were just leather shoes, which freed up our eyes to look around more and not have to worry about just where we're stepping, because you can only think one thing at a time. And if you have to think about what not to step on, then you can't think about looking in the bush for something that's going to attack you,
yeah,
or about, I don't know, whatever they had to think about as cavemen. And then like growing crops and for a whole city. So then you only got a couple people growing all the food for everybody. Now all of a sudden everybody doesn't have to spend all day every day thinking about where they're going to eat next, and so they can start thinking about mathematics and art and architecture and all of that.
Yeah.
So it's basically just what frees up time in your brain so that we can evolve our brain and think about the next thing.
yeah, yeah. No, I like that, and it's very true. That brings up some interesting questions for me. Is what's coming next?
Mm-hmm.
Like we've progressed to the point where we've freed up so much processing power to focus on non-essential things. I mean, that's why entertainment's one of the biggest industries in the
Oh
world.
yeah, because we're bored.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
So imagine this. Imagine if we were in a world where, yes, entertainment still exists. Like you'll never get rid of that. But imagine if we were in a world where people's productivity, their human capital, was actually pushed to the point where every single person was actually outputting like their dreams, if you will. If they went out and had the ability to go create whatever they wanted to, whether it's good, bad, doesn't, like, that's all perspective. But imagine that, because right now we're not. We waste, what is it, the average human being spends what, 6 hours on social media or something like that, and digesting media in a day?
I mean, I get my screen reports, and like I'm on social media. Some of it's personal, a lot of it's for work, and it's usually between 4 and 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
I'm on my phone doing something.
That's
Like, and it doesn't feel like that's how much you are, but I mean, we're androids now. Like, this
Yeah.
is, I feel like I've never had a child. I've had a dog. Maybe I'll relate it to the dog, 'cause I've never had a kid, but it's like, I feel like my dog is missing
Yeah.
when I don't have my phone on me. Like, I intentionally will take time away from my phone. Like, I go on walks or I'll go to the store or stuff, like, without my phone, just little breaks, just to try and break the habit of, like, that need. But it's there.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like I'm a person that's very self-aware and mentally strong, and I'm still just addicted as fuck to my phone.
Yeah. It's that
Like,
dopamine kick.
Yeah, like, if I don't know where it is, like, you feel the little wheels spinning in your head. Like, where is it? It's like, I think I worry about my phone more than my wallet.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that is your life. Like, think about how much data is on your phone.
mm-hmm.
Like, that is literally your life. But imagine a world where literally people were just freed up to do whatever they wanted as far as building their dreams. Like, that actual potentiality exists. We're just preoccupied with other shit. Like, at the end of the day, that's the harsh truth. We are preoccupied with useless shit. Like, at the end of the day, no one's going to remember why the Kardashians are famous. It might last in our pop culture, but that's not important.
Yeah, I mean, it's like kids today, 20-year-olds, whatever, like they don't know who Ozzy Osbourne is.
Hmm.
They don't know who the Beatles are. They don't, and it's not that, they aren't like up to speed on pop culture. It's just that they never heard of them.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And that's what the Kardashians are going to be like in 10, 15, 20 years. The kids come up and be like, who the fuck are the Kardashians? And
Yeah.
then they're going to look at them and they're going to be like, why the fuck did you like these crazy ass people? But, I mean, they just got lucky and caught a wave. And, I mean, not all luck. They definitely.
Oh yeah, they definitely have some skills, marketing
Yeah,
skills.
there's some of the best marketers, like, as a family in the world.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but
They're-
that's not pushing mankind forward
no.
at all. And the crazy thing is, like this is something that's not really talked about a lot either. If we don't continue to evolve, if we become stagnant in our abilities, technical abilities, mental capacity, mankind will eventually be eradicated by something else. Like we live in a very harsh environment. We just don't see that every day because again, we've mastered, I take that back. We've become very good at living day to day.
Mm-hmm.
But we live on a rock in a very average galaxy.
Yep.
And there's literally no reason why. Like the universe will not blink if we have an asteroid come and hit the Earth tomorrow.
No. The solar system wouldn't even blink.
No, not at all. It just
Like-
keep going. It's like, oh, big deal. A
Yeah.
bunch of ants got crushed.
They don't care.
Yeah. So it's we take so many things for granted, and I think that once we become conscious of that, it will unlock so much human potential because we won't waste as much time, or we might eventually get to the eventuality where AI basically takes all of our jobs and all we have time
Yeah.
or all we have
It-
is time.
Universal base income,
Yeah.
income, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna have to get taken care of because, yeah, robots can do everything. Because it's the bottom line is, business is profitable, or to make a business profitable, you always have to seek the lowest cost.
Mhm.
And as long as somebody somewhere is willing to use robots and AI, that means that now there's been a standard set for pricing under the market, which means that every business, in order to keep up, is going to have to do that.
Yeah, efficiencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no way that somebody's not going to do it, which means everybody has to do it.
Yeah. And when I talk to individuals, young ones, like you said, under 20, I tell them the two biggest skill sets that they can develop is the ability to create and the ability to problem solve. Everything else is just a technicality.
Yeah. What is it the Marines saying? It's oh fuck, I'm totally blanking. It's they don't plan, they always just prepare to improvise.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like the plan is always going to go to shit.
Yeah.
So just always be ready and at your best to improvise.
Yeah.
Be like, work with what you got in every situation.
Yeah, and it's very true. I mean, that's what being a business owner is building what you want to build, but in the same time, you have to use what you have to get to that next step. So when you talk about the next generation, next couple generations, if people don't have problem solving skills and if they don't have the ability to create,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be severely handicapped. Why? Because quite honestly, using standardized tests as the mode to push people forward, like all you're doing is competing against computers.
Yes.
You're just rehashing information or regurgitating information, and you aren't the most efficient being to do that. So
No.
it's going to create a very interesting dynamic. But at the same time, like I love the time frame that we're in right now because there's so many possibilities. You can do pretty much anything you want.
Yeah, the information age and just the level of technology that we have now, the connectivity, is opening up so much access for people to create their own life again.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody can argue that the 20th century was just corporate, like big business. It brought stability to the world. It brought paychecks. It allowed everyone to buy property. And I mean, we ended up fucking it up, by 2008. But, everything has its end, its time. And
Cycles.
now, yeah. And now we're in the new age. And I think we're about to see one of the largest transitions of wealth in human history. I think that I mean, we're definitely, the giants aren't going away, Apple, Amazon, Google, but it's through them that the opportunity comes. So I think that the governments are becoming less important
Oh, yeah.
as far as, business goes.
Huh.
And basically the big giants are the new government.
Yeah.
But
They're,
yeah,
they're dictating reality essentially.
exactly.
Because they're dictating the content you have in your brain.
Exactly. Like if you're running ads on Google for your business and you're running ads in a positive fashion, so the lifetime value of your client is more than the ad spend. So you might spend $500 to get a new client. And then over time, they might be worth $700. Guess what? You made $200 on that, and Google made $500 on your client,
Yeah.
So
That's why you got to create your own platform.
exactly.
Then that equation's reversed.
But I mean, that's it though, is that we have that opportunity now. Everyone in their own homes has that opportunity. And we're already seeing it, an era of hyper specialization within work, where everybody is going to do one thing and do it very, very well. And it's going to create, just starting as a micro economy and then turning into the major economy over the next decade, I believe, where of just a network of small businesses, because no one's making as much money as they need to survive. Costs are going up, wages are staying stagnant over the last 20 years. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
So everyone has to create a second income. So here comes a side hustle.
Yeah.
And people are just starting to learn the internet. The internet's still in its infancy. Social media is still in its womb.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
it's brand new still.
Yeah.
People think it's already set and it's the way it's going to be. No, like
Not at all. It's gonna iterate. Yeah, no, it's very true. It's actually, I'm excited. I'm excited about the future. Like all the stuff I'm doing right now is just a jumping off point, or a jumping point for the next company I want to run, which is essentially a technology lab, if you will.
okay.
So that's where all this stuff's going. So I'm really excited about that. But again, it's that ability to problem solve. It's that ability to analyze and see what's coming. Not in 100% clarity. You'll never have that. But the ability to capitalize on trends before they become trends.
Exactly.
So
I mean, that's exactly what I'm doing with the Gentleman Gorilla, creating a spot where we support small businesses. We help people just figure out how to be their own business. Like, how do you brand yourself? How do you set yourself up on social media? Because it's not difficult, but there's steps you need to take. And here's something that marketing and sales is so much different than it used to be. Because it used to be face to face, person to person. Everybody's different. But now it's pretty much computer to computer.
Yep.
And everybody that is a person is really just a presence on a server somewhere.
Yeah.
And so if it's in a computer, that means there's a program that runs it, which means there's a program that can beat it.
Yeah.
And so it's just, how do you beat the algorithms? Which algorithms are systems? And so there's systems to grow your business now. And there's steps to take that can basically ensure success in the digital world.
Yeah.
Like, not 100%, obviously, because some people just suck at things. And they just, like, that's just never going to work.
Yeah.
But all you need to do is find 100 loyal people in the entire world. Out of 7 billion people, if you can find 100 people to buy everything that you sell, you can have a good life.
Yeah. True fans.
It might take you a year to find 100 people or 10 years to find 100 people, but,
And the awesome thing is, if you can grow that by a digit or two, then you become truly wealthy.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's why you have, Eminem. All of it's like, he just dropped an album.
Yeah, without telling anybody.
Yeah.
And the world was on fire the next day.
Yeah.
I played the Eminem song for my grandma, the one with Ed Sheeran. They're talking about, like, back that ass up in the club, and my grandma's like, "Oh, this is nice." She's like, "I can see his little red head right now." While he's singing, I'm like, "Thanks, grandma," and I turned it off. I was like, I think it was weirder for me than it was for her.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's all it is. It's true fans.
Yeah, and you don't have to do anything but be yourself. You just have to be genuine to who you are and just continue to put yourself out there, and they'll find you.
Yeah.
And
Because they're searching for you.
yeah, exactly. The hashtags are a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
They're so great. And like TikTok, just 1.5 billion downloads.
Oh, dang.
And I don't know if it's surpassed Instagram or if it's in the process, but that's worldwide. Like America only has like, I don't know, 60, 70 million downloads of that
Yeah.
because it's still catching on. Like
Yeah.
the celebrities are just picking up on it, and then like it's the time to get in. Wait, what was my point on TikTok? But oh, my point is, so you put in those hashtags, you can reach everybody worldwide.
Yeah.
Like a very small market is in America right now. So with so with TikTok, it's just and Instagram and Facebook and everything. Like it's not that hard to get a few thousand followers, like on numbers, and then you just have to work on reinvesting into those people and just gain their trust, and then you turn your followers into actual followers that actually wake up every day and look forward to what you're going to say and what your business is going to put out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
No,
it's a system to beat.
it is kind of funny. 2.5 years ago, I had a Instagram of 26,000 followers or 25,000 followers, right?
That's pretty good.
And then I got bored of it because it had nothing to do with my business I was running at the time. I was like, okay, it's just taking time, all that stuff. So I permanently deleted it. And then a year and a half later, Positive was born. I was like, well, fuck me. I should have kept that. That would have been a perfect platform to just start marketing. So
Right?
I had to start building from scratch. But yeah, you live and learn, man.
Yeah.
You live
I
and
mean,
learn.
you would have had some fall off because
Oh, yeah,
the
change
people
over.
that were following you, all of a sudden you changed it, they'd have been like, oh, I don't care about this.
Yeah.
But you still would have kept a big portion of them
Oh, yeah.
because they weren't following you for your business as much, but as
Mhm.
you, and then the business is you.
Well, and to that point, like it wouldn't have been much of a drop off either because the content I was putting out was motivational,
Interesting.
like literally just
I
stuff
mean,
that motivated
so
me.
you still had the Instagram though. It was just dead for a while, right?
No, I killed it.
Oh, just deleted.
Permanently deleted it.
Oh man, that's like burning a stack of cash.
I know, right?
That's funny. I mean,
I- I've-
terrible, but funny.
I've made a lot of mistakes. Like that's why I've lost money. I've
Hey.
trusted the wrong people and made a lot of mistakes. But at the same time, those experiences have directly resulted in other opportunities that are much
Uh-huh.
larger. Like I have a book coming out nationally called Broken Open, which is a story of my life. Um, this is directly related to social media. Like I was putting out some videos, and a two-time best-selling author approached me. She's like, "You need to write a book," and I was like, "I already have one on Amazon." She's like, "No, you need to write another one. I've been watching your videos. You have something to say." So she came and interviewed me for 8 hours. Um, Another friend transcribed that interview, which I think took 24 hours. Thank you, Lorelai. That was awesome. Um, and then 2 months later, I had a book deal,
Wow.
and it just happened. Like because someone was watching my videos on social media. And I don't have a large following on social media right now, but that is the power of that whole
It takes one person.
exactly.
It's one of my favorite rants. Gary Vee, every time he talks to like a musician or anybody that's starting up, he's like, "Cool. How many people do you DM every night?"
Hmm.
Like, none. Okay. He's like, "You need to be sending out 100 DMs every night." And he's like, you're not searching for, you're not trying to get 100 people to say yes. So you're doing that every night to find the one person that's going to change your life.
Yeah.
Because that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Like, is finding the one person that has the right connections, that likes you. And especially in the music industry, it's like, all you need to do is find one artist that's more successful than you that wants to collab with you.
Yeah.
And then guess what? All of a sudden you were here, now you're on their level.
Yeah.
And then you do it again to the next level and to the next level.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not that business different with your own business. Like you just need to reach out and reach out and reach out until you
Yeah.
find people that believe in you.
Yeah.
Like it just takes one sometimes, as you just proved.
Yeah. And that's been that sort of one person type thing has been the biggest story of my life, honestly. Like when I was 24, I was broke, unemployed, graduated in '08, like right in the middle of the shitstorm. I got a single person to invest $100,000 with me, a random guy at Starbucks, because of my preparation on investing. And that changed my trajectory. Like I was listless, I had no direction, and then that happened, and it's like, okay, let's go this direction. And that's happened at least 6 times in the last 11 years. And it's because that one person literally believes in you and they kind of like subtly adjust the path you're walking. And that's, for me, it's being authentic and it's preparation. Like I read a book every other day, give or take. Although the last 4 days I haven't read a book. It's bad. Anyhow, it's that modality, that preparation. Then you start becoming aware of opportunities, and that's exactly what Gary Vee is talking about
Yeah.
with the DMs. You become aware of someone's got something in a tangent, maybe not the exact direction you're going, but it's another full opportunity that has the opportunity to change your life.
Right.
So
Yeah. Like in my business, we are, so we just, me and Dominique and a couple other people just came together as business partners in July of last year.
yes.
It was chaos at
Oh
first,
yeah.
you know, because it wasn't like they weren't coming to work for me and work on my list of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They came with their own businesses, and we basically merged. And so it's just, you know, like
Chaos.
galaxies colliding. Like,
Yeah.
and so it took us a long time to whittle down to, you know, what are our individual skill sets? What kind of clients did everybody bring to the table?
Mm-hmm.
How do we all balance it? Which ones are going to work for the group? Like, which ones do we have to get rid of or change our agreements with? And then so at the beginning of this year, we finally gotten to a point where we just have a few simple services that we find are the ones that are most beneficial that we offer and all of that. So anyways, the point is, I've been doing one of that. I started a process where, and it was another Gary Vee sent. The guy's a fucking genius. I love the guy. He's just got so many good ideas.
So a good friend of mine, literally, Gary Vee's her mentor, and her name's Ashley Hannah Wacker. She literally just, her interview with
Great
him
name.
came out, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, something like that. You should check her out. Very, very intelligent. But yeah, he's on point.
Yeah.
To say the least.
And so he's like, you got a cell phone? You got a contact list? It's like, craft up a little note and just text it to every single person in your phone. And so I've had a few like fairly like publicish jobs and working in bars and just being a networker. I have a massive list. You know, it's like 20 Ashleys, 30 Sarahs, you know, that kind of phone list.
Yeah.
And so I spent like an hour and a half. I've only gotten through the A's. I got like 5 new leads for my business.
Yeah.
And just, you know, I might have sent out 100 texts. Maybe 10 people text me back. I got a few, who the hell is this? And then I was like, it's Greg. I was like, oh, what's up?
Yeah.
And then like my best one is a girl, like, we don't even know how I got her number. And then we were talking, and then she's crushing. And she actually runs like the Stan Lee Foundation and
Nice.
helped start it.
Yeah.
And
That's
like,
awesome.
and her goal is to be the CEO of Disney. And we ended up having like a 2-hour conversation that day. And she's going to come to a podcast and like just, you know, and it's like, just because I finally decided to go through my phone, and I don't even know this person, but now like we're going to be great friends, I feel like, and do a lot of business together.
Yeah.
Because I just took the initiative to just do something simple and just be like, hey, I have a business. Do you know anybody that I might be able to work with in your network?
Yeah.
Just that simple.
Yeah.
And I'm only through the A's.
Yeah. It gets easier and easier too.
Yeah.
So,
And it's just putting yourself out there, which comes to rewiring, like rewiring the brain. How do you think about it? Like, do I look at that as like, I don't want to bother my friends with my business?
no.
Or do I look at it as, I'm proud that I have a business and I want all of my friends to know about it
Yeah.
and help me with it?
Yeah. Yeah. Which is the correct way to think about it. Otherwise, you probably will fail.
Exactly.
Like that's just the whole
Yeah.
shebang of it.
If you can't ask the people closest to you to believe in you, then you shouldn't be doing what you're doing.
Very true. Very, very true, man. Very true.
Right?
Yeah. I'm going to actually go out, and as soon as this is done, I'm going to text my list. Be like, you all know what I'm doing, but we're going to have another conversation.
Right?
So,
So I want to hear a little bit more about Positive. So I want to know kind of more of the business side. Like, how did you start? Like, what platforms did you start on? Like, what is your strategy for growth with that, and where do you want to end up?
okay. So there's multiple facets of the business. We have the production side where we are literally producing shows for small businesses, or just businesses in general. They're not necessarily small. That's to drive cash.
Okay.
The main portion, which is the whole premise of the company, is to literally get our app up and running, start aggregating content, start producing more content, and getting that destination, that platform, so we can then become the Google. So growth-wise, we have social media, and then we have my contacts. Like I'm just talking to people, going on podcasts, going on other shows. I just did my first
Grassroots growth.
Yeah, essentially. I just did my first large-scale public speaking. Well, not that large. It was like 70, 80 people, something like that. And I'm starting to share my story because it's rather unique. And that brings people within the sphere of influence, and then they find out what we're doing, and it's like, oh, okay. So it just kind of, I'm just talking about it right now. We've done, I think we've done 3 ads. We spent maybe $50 so far. Like, we're getting to that point where we'll start dropping marketing money, but that hasn't been the thing. Like, we've had to build literally from scratch everything that we're doing because the people that started it, myself included, knew nothing about media business other than what we were doing on our personal side. So it just, like, we had to learn, we had to teach, we had to make mistakes, we had to move forward. Like, if you look at the graphics in the very first iteration of my own podcast versus what we do now, it's night and day. Like, we can pretty much, I can look at, I use NFL as the example. Any of those graphics that they have on NFL games, I can go and recreate in my house right now. Like, you just break it down, then you start analyzing, then recreating.
That's awesome.
So we can do any of that. And that's literally because we had the ability to go out and teach ourselves the patience to accept that we sucked at certain things and then just got better and better and better.
And that's one of the beauties of social media is what you start, you get it out there. You might get 1 or 2 people that follow you. And then you do 10, 20, 30 things. And then you can go back and you can delete the first 7 or 8 things that are really, really shitty. And be like, all right, we've evolved past this. Like, I don't need people to see this anymore. We have enough good content now, you know? And that's the beauty. It's like, I think people don't realize that. Like, it's not entirely permanent when you put it online. You're like, yeah, you can delete it. Like, unless you have something that goes viral and then everybody's sharing it, then you're fucked.
Yeah,
But
that is true.
Like, if it's on your own platforms, like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just do it. Just get it out there, get feedback, even if it's shitty.
Yeah.
Like, have people tell you why it's shitty.
Yeah, and iterate. Have you seen the movie General Magic?
No.
Netflix, watch it.
Okay.
It's smartphones, or it's a company developing smartphones in 1993. So, like, Jeff DeFell. Okay, he was an intern there. Okay, he went on to co-create the iPad and the iPhone for Apple, and was all the CEO and founder of Nest.
Okay.
There's a handful of other people. Mark, I forgot his last name. Just watch it. Like, just watch it. It's an amazing, like, holy shit, they were 15 years ahead of their time.
Yeah, and then it just took a long time for society to catch up.
Yeah, the company failed, but not because of the talent. It's because the infrastructure for that industry was not there yet. They were creating, it was like building a TV without any content to put on it.
Yes.
That's exactly what happened. So, amazing movie. Go watch it.
Yes.
And I forgot where I was going with it, but it's I know it's crazy. Like, success is simply preparation, but being aware of the opportunity and then luck.
There's a lot of luck.
And I think that's a understated component of the most successful people. Is people that's just, there is luck components in it, timing. So anyhow,
Yeah, I mean, and then it comes down to, they say, you know, hard work creates luck.
Oh yeah.
And it's really, I think it's really just showing up and being there and being open to the experiences is what creates the luck.
Yeah.
Like, if you're at home on your couch watching fucking daytime soaps
You're not gonna be
and
lucky.
bitching about the storyline, how it's not as good as last season's.
Yeah.
Like, no, of course you're not going to find any fucking opportunities.
Yeah.
But if you're at a coffee shop working on your fundraising platform and you happen to talk to the guy next to you, guess what? All of a sudden you got $100,000 in your bank account to work with.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you know, that's just how it works.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like people just drop shit on you. It's not like a stork shows up with a business model and like, oh, here you go. Like, no, like, you have to be out talking to people. Talking to people creates ideas. Ideas create opportunity, and then hard work creates success on top of that. Like,
Very true.
it's just, finding your spot in the chaos.
Yes.
And if you're not in the chaos, you can't play.
Hey, you're gonna be watching.
If you're not in the playground, you can't swing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's very, very true, man. Very true.
Right?
Yeah.
So what's next for Positive? So you've got yourself established on social media a bit. You've got some of your media channels running.
Yeah. We're producing. We have an app coming out. Once the app is done, then I'm gonna go get funded, like
okay.
large money funded.
And what is the app gonna do? Like if I
Well,
want onto the app right now,
it
like
doesn't exist. Like in beta, like the iterations that I'm capable of doing is not good enough for what I want to put out.
okay.
And I don't want to spend the time teaching myself to code at such a level to create it. My time's better spent on other things.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So
So what would it do for my daily life? Like if I download the app when it comes out,
Mhm.
and then like why would I download it? Like what benefits is it gonna bring? How is it
just
gonna operate?
content. Everyone consumes content. So this content will be solely derived to improve your life.
So it would be like if I went to like CNN's app and it would have like articles and video
Yes.
and all that.
We're media agnostic, but it will be a platform where you can go and just start getting this content into your head, start changing the way you think, even if you don't even have to realize it, but you'll start spotting different things and having essentially a better life. Ultimately, where we want to go is incorporate augmented reality to do this in real time.
Hmm.
So, like, imagine yourself walking down a city street and you see graffiti. Well, what we want to get to is having our software being able to bracket that graffiti, superimpose an image over the top of it or a video over the top of it that shows you a different input into your brain.
Interesting.
Like that's where we are going. That's not where we're at right now. So
I mean, yeah, that's some Futurama shit right there.
Oh,
And
yeah.
dropping commercials into people's brains.
yeah, but
Like in Bachelor Chow.
yeah, but the technology exists now. It's what I equate to General Magic creating the phone 15 years too early. We're not ready with the content side. We're not ready
Yeah.
with the acceptance side socially yet.
I agree. It's I'm actually reading a book right now. It's This is Marketing by Seth Godin. And Seth Godin is he's OG marketer. Like he's been doing marketing for 30 years. He's one of the first people to really just master like digital marketing and paid ads and just the whole landscape. And his, first of all, great book, but the chapter I'm reading right now is all about basically early adopters versus the masses buying. So like early adopters, like they'll buy anything, they'll try anything, like just because that's who they are. But
Yep.
that's only a select few people. So how do you create the bridge between being the early adopter to being to the masses buying your product?
Yes.
And you're right, a big part of that is just timing. Like sometimes there's nothing you can do, but it's getting the big adopters or the early adopters a lot of exposure
Yes.
and then making it something available for the household.
Yes.
So yeah, it's like it took Apple being able to mass produce the cell phone and get it and be like, all right, now everybody's got it. I mean, I think Apple wasn't the first person to really do that. I think it was more like Samsung and Nokia. Like they're the ones. Motorola, yeah.
The Razor.
Yeah,
They
the
killed
little Nokia brick phone.
Yeah.
You like huck in the air like 100 feet, and we'll watch battery would pop out, and you just put it back in, and be like, all right, good to go. Let's play Snake.
I wish that happened with my phone right now.
God, yeah, they really got rid of the durability on them.
But that's programmed. Like,
yeah,
they do it so we buy more. It's that simple.
it really is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's just the age-old question. How do you make something new that people will actually adopt? And there's not really a method to it. It's just, does it happen or not?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like the next major wave that I'm looking forward to is, and this is a personal thing, I think that in new industries come in waves of 3. Okay, we'll use the internet for example. The first wave was universities and government entities. Okay. Second wave was the dot-com bubble. Now you have a more mature internet. It's not the ultimate in-game, but it's mature. The largest companies are internet companies. It's the third wave. They learn from their mistakes of the first and second wave. The first wave's early adopters. Second wave's was like when a lot of money was thrown at it. Well, that 3 multiple prong wave reiterates itself. The oil industry, the automobile industry, the train industry, the jet industry. Right now, or Bitcoin, like we're getting ready to go into the third wave of cryptocurrency. That's a faster cycle because it's a condensed technology. But the wave that I'm looking forward to is not this wave that we're currently in, but the next wave of space exploration. Okay, the first wave was governments in the 70s, 60s,
Space
70s.
race.
Yes. Second wave is right now. Blue Origin, SpaceX, all of those companies reducing the cost of the components. The third wave will be after this wave crashes. And that will be when you have not early adopters paying $100,000 to go out into space and have zero G experiments, but then everyone will have access to that sort of technology, and that's when you have that mature phase, that mature industry wave, that third one. That's the one I'm looking forward to, and that's, again, what I'm building for. So, yeah, anyhow, it's a crazy ride.
That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. It was a pleasure chatting with you, and I'm really excited to watch a lot more of your content, get some more positive feeds just directly dropped into my brain.
Well, thank you for having me on. It was
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely. Can you tell the people where to find you, your website, social media handles, anything?
Yeah,
that you need.
pstvtoday.com is the website. Social media is all PSTV Today. My personal one's Karl.Stedman on Instagram.
With a
and then-
K, correct?
Yeah, with a K. But you'll find me. Like I still have bots of my old account. Like people, cloned my account. So I had like 100 different pictures of myself on all these like really shitty things. So
That's weird.
yeah, it was definitely interesting. But anyhow, Karl.Stedman for Instagram, and then Broken Open will be out sometime this year on all bookstores, airports, digitally, all that stuff. So
All right. Well, we'll definitely have you back when Broken Open comes out. I'll have to read
thank
it,
you.
and then we can talk about it.
Thank you. It's a fun process.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Carl.
Thank you. That was fun.